All right, good evening, everybody. Oh, what's going on? Did all the debit orders go off today? All right, let's try that again. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to DewPoint. Good evening to everyone who's tuned in to the live stream around the country. My name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DewPoint. I'm going to be spending the next 60 minutes, so we might run over a little bit, but we're going to try to stick to 60 minutes, going through what DewPoint's all about, what the business is all about, who we are, and we have a very exciting format planned tonight. So this is certainly my most exciting evening that I'm quite passionate about, because tonight is what we call Tell All Tuesday. It is an evening where we get to invite some of the wealth engineers in our business to come up onto stage and share with us their experience of the business. And they're not actors. I once got accused that we bring actors into the business. They're not actors. They are normal people like you and I, and they're going to share their stories with us, and hopefully you'll be able to connect with some of the aspects of their experiences. So let's begin. DewPoint is a division of another business called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. They were founded in 1952, been around for nearly 7 decades. That's their building in the background, their orange logo. The FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see over there. You'll notice in the foyer above the water cooler, we've got all our FSP licenses on display. Those are very important. Those are our regulatory licenses. We've got a short and long-term insurance license. We've got an investment license. We've got our FSP license on display, and we've also got our accreditation with the direct marketing and the direct selling associations. We take credibility very seriously here at DewPoint, and we understand that it's a fundamental step in creating or proposing any partnership, in that you trust the business that we're going to be speaking about. So you're welcome. Go do a background check on us, but make sure that you are happy and trust the business of DewPoint and Constantia. The executives and the leadership, the senior managers here at DewPoint, are these people you see up on the screen, ordered in terms of height. You can see that's quite obvious. And also ordered in terms of beauty. I'm not sure which way it goes. But let's start with the 3 characters on the far left. These are our registered accountants, our CAs in the business. Brendan Benfield is our senior executive. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance. His family have been entrenched in insurance his entire life, because his father is a professor of insurance who taught at Wits for 25 years. His father founded Clientele Life, the IFA, among a host of other financial service-based businesses around the world. They've had a lot of success in that space. Brendan and his brother Stuart went on to follow in their father's footsteps, and they founded a business up the road called PMD, or Prime Meridian Direct, which has been very successful. I think they're the 4th biggest short-term insurer in the country at the moment. So we're very lucky to have Brendan heading up this division. Then Tim and Stacey, they head up, or they look after our auditing, the accounting, the financial aspects of our business. Tim is very experienced in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for about 15 years, where he reported directly to the CEO and the board of executives there. Stacey worked for Deloitte all her working career, very experienced in auditing. She worked here as well as overseas before she came back to South Africa and joined us here at DewPoint. And then the 2 best looking and tallest people in the team, the non-accountants, Jane and myself. Jane's on the live stream at the moment, but Jane's got a lot of experience in direct marketing, direct selling. She's from the UK, so she brings a lot of that international experience with her to our team. Even though we're an insurance company, our growth is very much dependent on our ability to operate within the network with a referral marketing space, and Jane brings that expertise with her. And then myself, should I say, the tallest and the best looking in the whole team. I've pretty much worked in marketing and advertising my entire career. I did try to do a stint of engineering at Wits, but that was far too difficult. Well, not difficult, but it just took up too much time, especially when you're 19 years old. So I went back into marketing and advertising. I started my own company in the late 90s, operated very much in the digital or the internet space. I ran that business for nearly 15 years before I walked away from that company, and I'll touch on why that happened. But this is the team. Our mandate as staff of DewPoint is to support everybody that joins us in this partnership. It is in our interest as a business to see you as effective and profitable in this business endeavor. And so we do everything to support you. So that's a bit of background on the business and the people at DewPoint. At this stage of the presentation, I've been criticized for spending too much time on this part of the presentation because it's fairly depressing. But what I like to do is give us context as to why we are sitting in a business presentation in Bryanston on a Tuesday evening when you could be at home enjoying a steak and watching Generations. Which one sounds better? Right? But we find ourselves here nonetheless. And I like to touch on the driving factors as to why people would be interested in this entrepreneurial opportunity. And we discuss the negative factors, because there are negative factors. If employment was the answer to all our issues, you wouldn't be looking for something extra, right? And so we touch on a little bit about the economy. When I talk about the economy, I'm really talking about high interest rates. I'm talking about inflation. I'm talking about food inflation that's sitting at 11%. I'm talking about the fact that your salary is certainly not increased in line with what the cost of living increases by every year. And unfortunately, what we try to do is we try to band-aid over this gap that forms between what your salary is and what the cost of living is. We try to use debt to remedy the situation. And we'll often be criticized by economists as a country, as a nation, for engaging in too much debt. And debt comes in all shapes and sizes: credit cards, home loans, car loans, hire purchase furniture, hire purchase clothes. Perhaps you'll be able to buy food on credit soon. You can eat the food this month and pay for it next year. Right? And so we engage in a plethora of different debt instruments instead of savings and investment products. And we often, because we find ourselves in this debt cycle, we often turn a blind eye to this time that arrives in our lives called retirement. And retirement's pretty much the same as retrenchment. It's the same thing. You don't get an income after each event. I think the difference is, for retirement, you get a party. For retrenchment, no one gives you a party for retrenchment, right? But the net effect is the same. You don't have an income. And so if you engage in retirement planning responsibly from a young age, you perhaps will put yourself in a position where you get to retirement and you're able to retire with dignity. All right, you've been working for 40, 45 years. You should hope that. But unfortunately, the statistics paint a different picture. They tell us about 98% of the population will get to retirement still financially dependent. Your income is ended, and now you're faced with the realization that you have to become dependent on your family, on your children. You have to downscale your lifestyle to such a degree that you can afford to live and get through each month. And so what this presentation is all about is about moving you out of that 98% into the 2%. Out of all of this negativity, we as a business saw an opportunity to create a system that allowed the average South African to engage with us and really change their circumstance. We have 3 aspirations in mind for the people that join this business. Our first aspiration is to see you become debt-free, completely debt-free. I like to paint a little picture for you as to what debt-free looks like, right? Because we're near the end of the month. I saw everyone was a little bit depressed. We've gotten past that point of the month where you realize you run out of money, right? But picture the end of the month. So normally what happens currently is the end of the month arrives and you get an SMS from the bank saying that your employer has paid your salary into your bank account, right? Relief. Can you picture that relief, that feeling that you have every month? But it's only for about 3 minutes, right? Because 3 minutes later, your phone starts to go crazy. You think there's a family emergency, but it's your debit orders coming off the account. And then you pray for the next 5 minutes, hoping that you still have money left over after all the debit orders, right? When you become debt-free, you get 1 SMS from your employer saying you've been paid your salary into your bank account, and you get a second SMS from DewPoint saying that we've paid a return into your bank account, and you don't get any more SMSs. That money stays in your account until you decide how to spend it. That first aspiration empowers you towards our second aspiration. Our second aspiration is that we want to build wealth. We want you to think about building wealth. You can only do that once you become debt-free. Building wealth in terms of building value in assets that you own or contributing income into investments. And then the third aspiration happens on its own. Because if you meet those 2 first aspirations, the third one happens on its own, and that's just to be happier. Because when you were invited to this presentation this evening, someone alluded to a business opportunity that actually gave you a little bit of hope in your heart that you were able to change your circumstance with what you would hear tonight, right? And so the third aspiration is generally just to be happier for your sake and for your family's sake. How does this work? Our guests here this evening, you have the opportunity to join DewPoint. When you join DewPoint, you actually contract with us, and when you contract with us, we refer to you as wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, we want you to only do one thing, and that is to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And through these channels of distribution on our online platform, we will place product with the people that you introduce to us. That's as simply as this business works. The benefit for you is you get to create additional income, right? That's really why you're here. Why is he talking about happiness and hope in my heart? I'm here for the money. Yes, you create an additional income stream for yourself. The nature of the income that you produce here is one of recurring income. Some people refer to this as passive income. My father coined the term, make money while you sleep. He told me this when I was about 12 years old. Get into business that makes money while you sleep. This is the reason why I walked away from the company that I invested 15 years of my life into. I realized, it dawned upon me that I would have to work in this business for the rest of my life to create income. Because we were very much a service-based business. I would spend an entire month along with my company. We were a fairly small company, 10 to 15 staff, and we would spend the entire month generating income. And at the end of every month, we would start at zero again. And we'd have to go out and look for the business and do the business, invoice the business, hope our clients would pay us, and this would happen month on month, month on month. And I realized after 10 years, this was not the business my father was speaking about. I was certainly not making money while I was sleeping. I was almost falling asleep at the computer, but I wasn't making money once I fell asleep, right? And this is what we want for you. We want you to start thinking differently about creating wealth for yourself. It is done through creating value in an asset that creates recurring income for you. You get to harness the power of duplication in this business. This is leverage. It is your opportunity when you go out and build these channels of distribution to find very capable, like-minded people that will help you, that will collaborate with you in building your channel of distribution, and so increase your recurring income. This business is flexi-time. Now, this is a double-edged sword. On the one side of it, you might be thinking, well, flexi-time is great because I can decide when I want to do the business, right? It's not a part-time business. Part-time business, I'll say you get you at 5 p.m., you leave at midnight. This is flexi-time business. You get to decide what that looks like. But on the other side of the sword, and this is just a tip, you will not be successful in this business unless tonight you decide how DewPoint will fit into your life going forward on a recurring basis. This is not a hobby that we're going to be speaking about this evening. It's not a New Year's resolution. It is about engaging in a business that requires accountability and time sacrifice, right? There's no startup capital. There's no registration fees. We don't have boxes of product waiting for you in reception. Did anyone see the box of vitamins waiting for you to buy? Anyone bring their uncle's bucky to load up product? No. So we make this business as low risk as possible. There's no qualifications or experience required. This is notable because we work in financial services. You speak to anyone that works in financial services, they will tell you how onerous it is to work in this space. But we contract you out of that obligation, so you don't have to worry about it. You can enjoy the upside of being involved in financial services without that regulatory obligation. And probably the most important benefit on the slide is you get to build an asset that you have ownership over. This is the antithesis of employment, because in employment what we're doing is we'll spend 40 to 45 years working for somebody else, building someone else's asset, right? I saw a wonderful meme about a month and a half ago. I share it every now and again in my intro presentations. It's great because it paints the picture perfectly of what we're talking about here. It's a picture of a man standing next to a brand new Lamborghini. We've got the Lamborghini shop just up the road here. We hear them do test drives. All the rich people come do test drives down past my office, right? And so a brand new Lamborghini costs you about 8 million rand. And there's this picture of a man standing next to his brand new Lamborghini. And there's another man standing off to the side saying, wow, boss, that's a beautiful car you got there. And the boss says to this younger guy, he says, son, if you carry on working as hard as you are, if you remain passionate and engaged in this business, I can buy another one next year. Right? We laugh, but this is what we're doing. We're doing. Salaries are great. Salaries have a place in our lives. They're there to pay for the cost of living, but not build wealth. And so the time that you sacrifice into building this asset, know that you have ownership over it. It means that you can sell it one day. It means that you can seed it onto your beneficiaries, right? Give it to your kids. This business will survive you. Wouldn't that be a great thing to know that the business you started gets carried on by your children, perhaps even your grandchildren, in creating wealth? That's why you should be happy to sacrifice time into this business. There's no selling required. We actually contract you out of any form of selling or marketing in this business. The nature of our products are financial in nature. Like I said, we don't have boxes of products waiting for you. This is great because we don't have the stock and distribution issues that other companies have. So you don't have to fight with your spouse at home about putting stuff in the garage. Our products don't have expiry dates. They don't start to smell funny after a certain amount of time when you forget about them, right? And so we make the business as convenient as possible. But this is all dependent and predicated on your ability to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. So this is what a channel of distribution looks like. It starts with you. You're the wealth engineer. I want you to picture yourself as the MD or the CEO of your business, because that's really what you are. You're going to go out and tell people about the DewPoint business opportunity. If you are successful in that, if you get people to come sit down through a presentation, if they see the potential of this business, they join, they take out one of our products, that's the beginning of your channel of distribution. Those like-minded and hopefully resourceful and effective people that you've introduced to the business will go out and do the same thing that you've done. And so you have this organic growth that starts to take place in your business, right? Based purely on your early efforts. After a certain amount of time, this is what your channel of distribution would look like. For every product, you're getting paid every single month. And after a certain amount of time, there'll be a few more people and more product in your business, and your recurring income will increase. But I'll warn you now, this is our disclaimer slide. I don't know if the people in the back can see the picture. Can you see the picture of the ballerina's feet? It's the perfect analogy of business, because when we see people engaged in business that are successful, we make the mistake of thinking, wow, look at the nice car, look at the nice house, look at the nice spouse, the dog is even good looking. And you think it must have happened easily for them, right? Maybe they were born with a silver spoon in the mouth, or it was just luck. But business is not like that. It isn't. We will never promise you success easily in business. It does not exist. Because even though you think business looks like that, in the background, while you're sleeping, there are people working on their dreams. They're sacrificing time that you're not aware of. They're willing to go through all of that, right? The blood, the sweat, the tears. And business requires that. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is the first time you'll be forgiven for thinking that. Again, it paints a picture of what our society is enduring when we're willing to engage in get-rich-quick schemes. When a prisoner from Russia on YouTube tells you to put 20,000 Rand into a bank account and he'll double it next week, right? It shows us how desperate we are. We're not one of those. We're a 70-year-old insurance business that's listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. We would never align ourselves with anything that even smells like a get-rich-quick scheme. So that's my disclaimer slide. Everyone has been warned. Okay, let's talk about how we earn. Oh, on that note, we've got our first wealth engineers on stage. As you can see, the couple have a huge disparity in height. And we just couldn't fit Nick in. Fortunately, we've got a guy who knows Photoshop, and he shrunk Nick and Shani down. So guys, come up. Okay. Welcome. Your
Thanks
first
very much,
Tunnel
Rob.
Tuesday. We know Nick and Shani very well. Probably the most loving couple in our wealth engineer group. Free hugs. If anyone wants a free hug, Nick's willing to dish them out. So guys, let's take a look at your slide. You joined on the 8th of September last year. By December, earning just over 1,000 Rand a month in recurring income. By July, nearly 2,500 Rand and 4,000 Rand currently for the month. Share your experience of the first time you were exposed to DewPoint. What was that like? Tell everyone what your experience was, what your impressions were of the business.
Well, there's actually a whole rap that I did because I love DewPoint. I think DewPoint's absolutely amazing. I did a whole rap around it, but I'm not going to share that tonight. If you really want to hear it, I'll send it to you on WhatsApp. I was at work, and mates of mine came to me and said, "Nick, let's go and have a look at a presentation." I popped through here. We came on a movie night. I actually watched a movie. Halfway through the movie, I just went, "I'm in." I got home. My wife sort of looked at me and went, "Like, are you absolutely off your rocker?" In the first month, I spoke to everybody, guys. I spoke to everybody about DewPoint. I'm talking about everybody, eh? So my wife said to me, "Okay, hold on a minute. After the first month, sit down. I want you to write the list of all of the people that you've spoken to." I said, "No problem." I sat down and there were 13 people. And I've spoken to everybody. but it's been an amazing journey. The one thing that I do want to say before we sort of go any further is to Brendan and Rob and Tim and Jane and Stacey and Carol and Lynn and Pumi and all of the guys that aren't even in my channel that have motivated us, that have just always been there for us. They're the real deal. They are amazing human beings. I love them to bits. I'm going to get to my channel a little bit later on because they're amazing. But you guys, whenever we get you, there's just such an amazing vibe, and you guys are just absolutely amazing and outstanding. I think we should give all of them a hand.
Oh, thank you. All right. So you thought it was amazing. You were sold. It took a while to get your wife sold on the business. What was your first impression when Nick came home with this new idea?
Nick and I have tried absolutely everything. There's nothing we haven't done to try and make an extra buck on the side. And nothing worked. So when he came home with yet another scheme, scam, I took one look at Brendan and I thought, that's a toothpaste salesman. This guy is just, it's not. Loki is the reason that Nick joined this business. I was ready to buy them each a body bag. And I said to Nick, you've got 30 days. This is going to cost you, at that stage it was $274 a month. And I said to him, that's money you're taking out of my kid's mouth. You either make a profit or you stop. And then I watched him slog hard and he couldn't sell a thing. But the fact that he tried so hard made me actually go, you know what, let's just look at this thing. And it was amazing. It was amazing how difficult it was to get the first person signed up. And it was amazing the objections that we got. It was shocking that you couldn't get people to part with 274 Rand. And, but it's been amazing.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you to touch on that. Certainly there's a lot of hype and perhaps excitement at the beginning of the presentation. I often tell people excitement doesn't lead to success. So realistically, you've been involved in the business for over a year now. What has that been like, the endurance part of all of this?
Well, I think the one thing that there's a scientific law that says motion causes friction. And it's like that with everything in life, motion causes friction. If you want to go somewhere amazing, there's going to be friction. If this was easy, everyone would be doing it. And we've heard everyone say that before, but it's not always easy, but you just got to keep on going. In Zulu they say, Zama zamanjalo, mawehlelkele uqaleni zamanjalo. You've got to just keep on going, you know what I'm saying? Just never give up. And you've just got to go, you got to go, you got to go. That's all. If they say no, we say next. If they say no, we say next. And that's the way it's got to be. We've got to just keep going. I learned that from Pat. I actually did. I really did. If they say no, off we go. Next we go. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, you've certainly shown the endurance. Perhaps you'd like to share why you're enduring in this business. I know you want way more out of this business than where you currently are. Perhaps you want to share your ambitions, your goals in the business, what you aspire towards.
So I want the 2 SMS scenario. I really do. I was sitting there listening to Rob. I've never heard him use that analogy, but I think it is such a nice analogy. When you're debt free, imagine a world where you could choose what you want to do, when you want to do it, and who you want to do it with. I think that would be such an amazing place to be. I love my job. Guys, I love my job. The job that I have, where I'm working at the moment, I'm one of those passionate people that get out there every single day, and I wake up and I'm like, woohoo, because I love my job. But I want to be in a position where I can choose where I go, when I go there, and who I go there with. And that's really what I want.
Liberation.
You go and sit on the beach with a team of people and go and have a whole stack of fun with my Dew Point friends.
That's great. I'm sure Brendan and I will be there. Brendan will bring his toothpaste boxes. Success in this business is certainly not dependent on your sole efforts. So I give you the opportunity to address your channel, the people that have perhaps collaborated with you, a message, if you will, to your channel.
Sure. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much to my upline. I even want to say thank you so much to my crossline. You look at guys like Donnie and obviously Patrick and Pumi and a whole of the guys that are not necessarily my channel. Thanks so much for always just making sure that we stay motivated. Thanks for always being an example. Then to my channel, Rudolph, Marsha, Loki, Then the guys that are in our team, David, you know, you're also in our channel. You're part of our team. And then the guys that are in my downline, you know, Bern, Debs, all of you guys, you just got to keep on going. Every single day, get out there, speak to one person. If it's just one person, speak to one person a day. Make sure that you don't give up. You've just got to keep on going every single day. Don't give up. There'll be moments where you feel like giving up. The answer is just don't. Just keep on keeping on. That's all you got to do. You're amazing. You're an earth shaker. You're a history maker. Keep on going. Loki, thanks for introducing me to this business, my brother. You're a brother. I love you lots, and I can't even tell you how much we appreciate you so much. I'm going to hand this over to Shani, if that's okay, just for a second.
Course.
Also, just to say something.
You know, to our downline, I think I tell you guys every time I see each and every one of you that most people will believe that it takes a personality like Nick to be a success in this business. But let me tell you, if you're quiet and you're reserved, you'll bring more people into this business that will stay and make a bigger effort than if you just bring in an extrovert, because extroverts talk all the time, so people don't tend to take them seriously. But when a quiet person stands up and speaks, they start to get heard. So don't think that because you're quiet, you can't speak to people. Just talk to them in your own quiet way and just tick on, keep going.
Great, thank you guys.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you. We have always seen great success when husband and wife decide to team together. An extrovert and an introvert. Right? Make things happen. The best of two worlds. All right, so let's discuss how you earn money in this business. There are two ways to benefit as a wealth engineer. Number one is through our returns program, which we're going to discuss now, and number two is through our rewards program. So our returns program works like this. We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel. And that is dependent on where the product lies. So people that you introduce personally to the business, that product actually lies on your first point. It is 1 point away from you, and you can see on the table, the multiplier says 200%, which says we pay you 55 Rand for every product on your first point every month. Remember, it's recurring income. And then those people go out and they'll find individuals to join Dew Point. That product lies on your second point. And on your second point, again, we pay you 55 Rand. To your third point, you see the multiplier starts to drop, and it steadily drops all the way down to the 8th point, where we're paying you 4% of the 27.50 Rand. But what's important to note is that we don't limit you at point 8. From point 8 onwards, we will keep paying you the 4% of the 27.50 Rand. We don't limit you on how large your channel can get at Dew Point. We don't limit you on how much money you can be earning at Dew Point. All right, so this is the mechanics of the returns. The next natural question we obviously get is, well, for people to try and understand how much money they can earn at Dew Point, beyond just the 55 Rand. So what we did was we built this thing called the Path to Success. It is a 5-year projection that the accountants put together, a little bit of design work. But it paints a picture of what you could be earning with time. It is dependent on a growth formula. The growth formula is something that we call the 3+2 formula. It says in your first month as a wealth engineer, you need to bring in 3 people in your first month, and then every consecutive month thereafter, you bring in 2 people. So you end up bringing 1 person every 2 weeks into perpetuity. If you can follow that growth formula, you can expect to earn these numbers. And we've taken into consideration people that don't build the business, the issues we have in insurance business where people don't pay their products. That's taken into consideration here. After 6 months, you could be earning 2,500 Rand a month. This is where some people want to walk out usually, right? But I think there's too many people here, you might be shy, right? Because my first impression too was, well, 2,500 Rand after 6 months, that's not a lot of money. Come on, accountants, give us a better example. That was my first reaction. But I need to think differently about money. I make the mistake often of thinking like a consumer, like a spender. The way economists want us to think. Spend more to improve the economy. But we need to start thinking differently about money. You can look at 2,500 Rand and say, well, that's not a lot of money. I mean, you can buy a pair of shoes for 2,500 Rand. It's not going to change my life. But let me give you some context, different context to the value of money. Because everyone in this room has probably got debt, right? And remember our first aspiration, to get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. Here's an example of someone with a 1 million Rand bond. After 6 months with some success at Dew Point, they're earning 2,500 Rand, and they make a very boring yet mature decision to put that money into paying off their debt a little bit faster. You take the 2,500 Rand and pay it as an additional payment into your bond. It'll reduce your 1 million rand bond term from 20 years to 11 and a half years. It'll save you 1 million rand in repayments, that little 2,500 rand. After 12 months, you're earning in excess of 100,000 rand in annual recurring income. Put your hand up if you expect to get a 100,000 rand bonus this year. Right? Don't. We'll all come ask you for a loan. That is 12 months away, folks. After 24 months, you could be expecting to be earning anywhere near 30,000 rand a month. Now that is life-changing, right? Regardless of how much money you earn. After 36 months, you're close to 50,000 rand a month. You want to look at a debt example again? At the 30-month mark, you're probably earning about 36,000 rand. You put 36,000 rand as an additional payment into a 5 million rand bond, you'll pay a 5 million rand house off in less than 7 years. So I love this example because I'm 40 at the moment, and I look 22, 40. Right? I've got about 20 years left until I hit retirement. If I was able to do this example, get to this point, and pay a 5 million rand house off in 7 years, at the age of 47, I would have paid my first house off. I've gotten rid of my debt. Now I can concentrate on creating wealth. Your first house is not an investment. It's only an investment if you get to retirement, you have to sell it and move it into a caravan. Right? Then it's an investment. So I pay the first house off at 47, I buy a second house. At the age of 54, I've now paid off the second house. I buy a third house. At the age of 61, I've paid off 3 houses to the value of 15 million rand in property assets. I'm living in one 5 million rand house. I'm earning a rental income of about 60, 70,000 rand a month from the property that I've invested in. This is how we want our wealth engineers to start thinking. I want your imagination to start running wild in this process. After 48 months, you're close to earning about 70,000 rand a month. And after 60 months, a short 5 years, you're earning about 1 million rand in annual recurring income. Now, this is all theoretical, right? It's based on this example that is 3 plus 2. 3 plus 2 is just an example. We have a lot of people that join the business, they get excited, and they do nothing. I call them our 0 plus 0 club. But you can certainly exceed 3 plus 2. If you want more than 2,500 rand after 6 months, guess who makes that decision? You make that decision. And so we've got wealth engineers that we love to showcase constantly that do more than 3 plus 2. And I'd like to ask Jack to come up onto stage. It's his second time at Tell All Tuesday. On the spot there. All right, Jack, you joined at the end of January. February, nearly 1,000 rand a month in recurring income. By June, nearly 4,000 rand a month. And you're sitting currently, the value of his channel this month is sitting at almost, or just over 8,000 rand a month. You can do more than 3 plus 2. Jack, would you like to share your experience of how you were exposed to DewPoint in January? Was it good or bad?
It was bad.
Was it?
Right there, good evening, everybody. As Rob has already said, my name is Jack Dolamo, and I'm coming from Wheatbank. And I was introduced to this business in January, in the middle of, poverty, because I just, paid the school fees for the children, and, I didn't have any money left. And I was, before actually I'll continue with this, I was introduced by Mavuma Zega in this network business. And he knew me from this other previous network which we were busy doing. And I was actually hurt, I was very hurt because, they introduced me into that business, promising me to, to get the lifetime recurring income, only to find out there were year modes, along the way, which, actually crippled my income, I was, involved in debts, hoping that because I was earning more than 27,000 rand a month, I knew that I could afford it. But come the second year, the third year, the fourth year, it was very crazy. Because actually, I bought the car, and when they introduced me into this business, actually, I nearly lost that car because I was involved in a car accident, and then I had to sit down without working for about 8 months. And for 8 months, I couldn't even do the network, So it means that, when the EMOs caught up with me, and then my commission went down, flat down. And it was very much hectic for me. But fortunate enough, when Mavuma told me about this, and then I listened a bit, and I was a little bit skeptical, and then I said to Mavuma, I was, lied before, so to say. Sorry to say that, but I was lied before, and then So things didn't happen the way I was expecting. And then he said to me, my brother, I'm telling you, Dew Point business opportunity, come and see it. And then, I was very skeptical. Eventually, I gave in, and then I said, okay, let me just go and see what the Mavuma is talking about. And then I came to the presentation. Brandon Benfield was busy presenting here. And, after presenting, and then I went to him, and then I asked him a couple of questions about, the year modes and the business fees. And even, the competitions. And the answers were all negative towards I was, thinking, There were no EMOs, there were no business fee, there was no competitions in this business. And I said, wow, this is fantastic, I can do this business. And then I started doing it, even though, I started in January, but I was doing it underground because I was still with the other network. Yeah, and yeah, you know that, you know where we're coming from. And they said we're not allowed to be involved with the other network marketing businesses while we're still with them. And then, yeah, eventually I lost, some of my commissions which was left. And then they said, no, they're going to take it away after realizing that I was doing Dew Point. I said, no, it's fine. So, yeah, they tried to starve me, alive, but that was when they were putting petrol on fire. And then I started catching up, and then I did Dew Point. Today I can tell you that, I've got financial freedom. My bank account, I don't know that thing that there is insufficient amount in my bank account. So yeah, it was a nice journey, up to so far up. Even though I want to make it clear to you guys that Dew Point is not easy to do. Actually not Dew Point, but each and every network marketing business is not very easy. When I started this business, I was putting people inside the business because even I was a little bit frustrated because, having lost another commission from that other company, I was putting each and every person which I found on the way, and being bafaga by a puma, bafaga by a puma business. So, but then eventually I said, okay, after 3 months, I said, okay, let me now start, looking at the quality of the people which I bring into this business. And then I started putting quality people, and then that is where now my business started to boom. Yes.
Jack, I know you've worked tremendously hard this year. You've told me that you're tired, but you endure anyway. Why do you endure? Where do you want to get with this business?
To be honest with you, I'm doing this business very hard. Sometimes I'm coming from work, working night shift, and then I had to come here for the presentation at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then sometimes I have to come here for the presentation, still in that 2 hours, having to work night shift and then going back late at work. Because I know this business is going to sustain my life, It will never stop coming. So this business is more important than my 24-hour job, which I'm doing. So yes, in this business, I'm very much grateful in doing this business, and I'm prepared to die for it.
You're doing lots of work on Mpumalanga. Do you want to speak to your team? We like to recognize the fact that the success is not on your own efforts.
Yes, you can't do it alone. I always say to people, there is no I in this business. You always work with your team. So together we can do it. I like to recognize my people, my cheerleaders, from down in Nelspruit in the Lowveld, in Mpumalanga. I know they're live streaming now. Mums Melanie, keep the good work going, and then coming up, to Wheatbank, I've got the Abumam Miriam Likuleni there that side. So they are pushing the business. Going to Ochis, I've got the Pastor Kekana there, which are doing very good job. Moving along to Pretoria side, wow, the guys are here, all of them, Yeah, thank you very much. The team has been led by Tumelos Slumani there, and then I've got Dennis Muleufe. I know you are live streaming as well now with your people in Pretoria as well. I've got the Rendanis, the Fridas in Pretoria. Those are cheerleaders, Brashesi, good work you're doing there in Pretoria as well. I've got the people, in Soweto, I've got the Wilson Maredi. They are doing a very good job there. They're sitting there as well. I've got the, Mr. Lebang Nong. How can I forget you, And Dr. DC. So those people are doing very hard, they are working very hard. I've got the Cindy's in Centurion. They are doing a lot of work, these are the people who are actually, making this opportunity become reality. So I would love to start to thank Mavuma as well for introducing me into this business. That is the person who made us so the opportunity.
Great, Jack. It's very exciting. We're very excited to where you're going to be. It's
No.
early days, 11 months in.
Yeah, well, 11 months in, but yes, I'm still having, some dreams and aspirations. I want to see myself, ranking up, eventually, even this month, I nearly hit 2 ranks in 1 month. So, but yeah, I'm happy with that. And then next month, I'm going to rank up again. Yes, thank you very much. And then, in a bigger picture, I want to see myself, retiring financially secured, with the amount of money whereby I won't have any problems in, affording myself, I don't want to depend on the government, what do we call it? Yeah.
There could be a number of things.
Yeah, so yeah, I've got the children as well, which need to be going to be at the university. So I know that Dewpoint is going to make me able to afford that, So yes, big ups to Dewpoint. And I want to say to my team, you know what, guys? Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, man.
An expansive network already. So what Jack was referring to, ranks, I'm going to explain to you what the ranks are in our rewards program. It's the second way to benefit as a wealth engineer through our XP rewards program. The XP rewards program works like this. As a new wealth engineer, you'll typically engage in wealth engineer behavior, which could be logging into the website, coming to presentations, bringing guests with you, engaging in the online training that you have. And when you engage in these activities, we give you something called XP. It stands for experience points. It's got no monetary value. It's purely an indicator of how active you are as a wealth engineer. You'll notice the 1,000 XP per head office guest. We are running an incentive up here at head office. If you bring any guests with you to head office during the week, up until the 15th of December, we'll give you 1,000 XP per guest that you bring. So that's something to keep in mind. But so you start collecting all this XP with the activity that you're engaging in, and as your business starts to grow, your channel starts to grow, you start to rank up in our XP rewards program. So as a new wealth engineer, you'll start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. You can see you're not even on the slide. Can you see? You're dangerously still in the 0+0 club. But very quickly you can get to rank 1, because all you need is 1,000 XP and you need 4 products in your qualified channel. You'll become rank 1, and at rank 1 we give you a once-off 55 Rand reward at the end of that month. And then as your business starts to grow, you start to collect more XP, you start to rank up, and you see the rewards get bigger and better. 1,500 Rand, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. We give tools to our wealth engineers that help them be more effective in building their channels of distribution. Here's Patrick and Pumi at rank 5. They received what all the rank 5s get, this Lightning USB drive, which is a wonderful little device because it plugs into anything. It plugs into phones, tablets, laptops, computers, TVs nowadays, whether it's Android, Apple, Banana. But more importantly, it's got all our video collateral on there. So all the videos about Dewpoint are on there. Patrick and Pumi can show people the Dewpoint opportunity regardless of what device they have around them. At rank 7, we spent 12,500 Rand getting business cards manufactured for our wealth engineers. These are certainly luxurious premium business cards. They are gilded on the edges in gold. The logo is foiled in gold. There's no printing. There's no ink on these business cards. Why would we spend so much money on business cards? Because when you give a business card like this to somebody, someone who probably hasn't heard of Dewpoint before, your credibility goes up a couple of notches, right? Because your business card costs about 50 times more than the one they've got in their back pocket. And it's your opportunity to spend maybe just 5 more minutes explaining what Dewpoint's all about. At rank 9, we take our wealth engineers and their families, business class flights, to a 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip. Not once, but every single year going forward. Once you get to rank 9 and above, you will enjoy this international conference with Dewpoint. And I've got a video to showcase where we're going to be going in December, right? 30, 40 days away. This is what you can enjoy.
on, have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
So that's our Rank 9 International Conference. There's no time limit on this. You can take as long as you like, or you can take as quick as you like. We've got a number of families that have already qualified for Rank 9, which we're going to be enjoying this international conference with next month. Some people have done it in 5 months. Like I said, it's completely up to you how long you want to take to get to Rank 9. At Rank 11, we spend R250,000 buying a brand new car for our wealth engineers, no T's and C's, and more importantly, no debit order at the end of the month. So this is Rank 11. Our XP Rewards program has been designed up to rank 28. So when I say to Jack, this is still early days, 11 months in. We have a vision of the next 30 years when we map out up to rank 28 in our XP Rewards program. So that's the second way to benefit as a wealth engineer. A third way to benefit as a wealth engineer is through our wealth quests. So a wealth quest is something that we do every month. It is different every month. It is a challenge that we issue to our wealth engineers. And if they conquer the challenge, there is a great reward attached to the wealth quest. So this month is called Come Fly With Me. We challenge our wealth engineers to rank up one existing wealth engineer within their channel and to qualify another new wealth engineer. And if they're able to do those two things, they will have a big screen smart LED TV sitting in their lounge for Christmas, right? So that's the incentive this month, our Wealth Quest. I'd like to ask Reynold and Rumi to come up because they conquered last month's Wealth Quest for an iPhone 5S. There you go, sir. So last month was called Explosive Growth, and I think you guys brought 11 new people onto your first point and qualified 2 of them. Awesome work. Congratulations. We get asked the question, how does DewPoint afford these Wealth Quest, the returns and the rewards program? The slide basically illustrates our business model. Traditional insurance companies, very much like PMD down the road, will spend a significant amount of their budget on marketing and advertising. At DewPoint, we don't spend a cent on marketing and advertising. You won't see our DewPoint logo outside of this building. We depend on our wealth engineers to go out and tell people about the DewPoint business opportunity. And so we don't spend the billions that the insurance industry spends every year on that. Instead, we use that portion of our premium and our subscription to attribute it to returns and rewards that we pay out to our wealth engineers. So I hope that explains our business model. It's fairly straightforward. And we come to Don Landon, all the way from PE. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Don, your first time up on stage, very exciting. You can see by the smile, very infectious smile that Don has. You joined on the 14th of December, just before Christmas. I hope someone didn't show you a Christmas dinner presentation, a DewPoint presentation during Christmas dinner. But joined over December. By July, earning nearly 4,000 Rand a month. 60 days later, September, 6,500 Rand a month, and then nearly doubled that again 60 days later after that. What's important to note is that Don actually, even though he joined in December, you only really started doing the business in June. So if we go back and we look at his returns, he earned nothing up until June. So really, in the space of a month, to go from 0 to almost 4,000 Rand a month, remarkable. Don, tell us about your early experience of DewPoint.
Well, people do. Sorry, can I just not end with it, but can I just say thank you to the Port Elizabeth team now, and to the Beaufort West and Butterworth and everyone else. You know, there's people all over the country, even in Joburg now, that I've signed up people as well. So thank you to the whole team. That's the reason why I'm here today. Thank you very much. All right.
Just hold it up.
Just to quickly, just to clarify, people do know I've been involved in networking for a long time. In the previous company, the first presentation I went to, I actually ran out the presentation. I spoke to my upline last month and said, "Can you remember, Freddie, when you were running after me?" And the reason was because we were involved there, and we made good money as well, but the problem was we were only paid for 12 months. Basically 12 months commission of the earnings. That's why I could never do it, but I continued because I saw the simplicity of the network. So when this came along, I decided just to own the product because I loved the investment product. And I thought I'll just own that, until eventually I decided, let me give this thing a real bash. And in May, June, I started working the business and, making calls, seeing people. And it is a simple business. When you say it's not easy, it actually becomes easy the more you do it. So the more you share it and the more you explain it and the more you make the calls. But the nice thing about this, Rob, is that you don't carry any books with you. And the other thing is that I don't have to waste time faxing forms. And then also, I have to waste time phoning and finding out if it's been captured. I don't have that waste of time anymore.
It's the simple things, Don.
It's just, it's simple. So it was unbelievable because with the previous company, we did go to 3-4 meetings a year, the top people, you remember, and we asked, can we have permanent commission? And there was absolutely no ways. We were fighting a brick wall. And eventually the business fee got to 75 Rand top of your premium, and we still didn't get any earnings from that. So it was a simple opportunity that you join online, you get paid very highly here, and you just got to keep the structure right and understand the structure. It's so simple. It's so simple. But it does take work. But so does a job. Or same when you're employed. So you just got to do it. It's that simple, okay? So I'm not in full force yet. I'm working about 60% at the moment. But I'm hoping to go full force in the next month or two. To really push it. My goal was when I started in June is to try to be by 350 paying premiums by December. And then my goal is by next year December to be on 1,000. But my main reason why I got involved is because I want to go overseas paid by someone else. I love it. I love it. I've been going overseas for 10, 15 years, 5-star hotel, Singapore, Phuket, Thailand, Mauritius. I've been on cruises. I went on the Oasis of the Seas a few years ago. I've traveled all over the world. It's been phenomenal. That's besides my own money, taking my daughters to Disney World and traveling over myself and taking them on cruises. But the thing is, networking works. I can tell you right now it works. In my first month with the previous company, when I started working, I earned about 172 Rand. My first month here, I think the very first month I earned, I thought, hang on, this is a little bit better. Can you see? So I realized this is the right room I'm sitting in tonight. All right, so give yourselves a hand that you're in DewPoint tonight. I can tell you that now. And also thank you to the guy that phoned me from Joburg. He phoned me up and he started. By the way, when you launched in February,
Yeah.
I was phoned in about April, a month later.
Okay.
And I just was not interested, not interested, not interested. But he persisted and he persisted and he persisted. I'm sure you all know Mario.
Yeah.
And he persisted and he persisted and
Yeah.
he persisted. So eventually I thought, I'll take the damn product.
Yeah.
Because the investment looks so good. It actually looks so good. I couldn't believe this funds that you can put your money into offshore. Couldn't believe it. So I took it out. Which is fair. I mean, you can take a product with any, But when I got started, I really could see now, and I can really see in the future what people will be earning. And Robert, and I can honestly say the guys are going to be earning in this company probably 300 to R500,000 a month.
I hope so.
In the next
This
7
is
to 10
certainly
years, I can
early
see that.
days in our business. And for yourself, to what end, Don? When do you deem yourself successful? When do you go from working 60% to 100% to going 15%? I can now relax.
No, look, you still got to do every day, you got to meet a prospect. Every day you got to stick your hand out and say hello. That's got to be constant. That's like your heartbeat. If you're not doing that daily, you're not building a network. I can tell you right now, if you're not meeting people daily or saying hello to someone, to strangers on a daily basis, you're dead. Okay. So if you just take that as a tip, because if you get that right, you're going to make a lot of money in Duport. So for your question asked is when I'm going to go really into it. And my goal is, yes, it's not a big income. Some guys want to make 100,000 straight away, 200,000. My goal is to get to 15, 20,000, and then I'm start putting more effort into my business. I mean, really, where I can take it quickly to a 50,000 Rand plus income, and eventually get to my 6-figure income. Would you all like 100,000 Rand a month? Yes, I'm sure you'd like that.
Don, any final comments or messages to your channel? I know you thanked a couple of people as we begun, but any final words?
To the whole team that are involved, it's just a method of keeping on. You got to keep on keeping on. And the thing is, when people get started the first time, you think about the first time you saw this opportunity. Didn't you get excited the first time? The first time you saw the opportunity, you got excited. The sad thing is people fall out 3-4 months later because they don't know how to keep that excitement and bottle it up, basically. If you can keep that same excitement daily with this business, you're going to become successful. That's a fact. But the problem is that we lose it too quickly because of negative people out there. So in Afrikaans, hulle sê 'n vark ken nie 'n vark stink nie. So don't hang around the negative people. Okay. Thank you very much.
Great, Don. Some wonderful lessons there. Thank you. I think it's so important to note the endurance of this business. I think Don touched on it. He speaks about doing this business daily. It has to fit into your life. You cannot burn yourself out in this business. I compared this business the other day to Comrades. I said, if you have a plan to run Comrades, you can't sprint the first kilometer or 2 kilometers. You've got to have a game plan that you are able to fit this business into your life on a daily basis, something that you can endure, something that you can enjoy while you do it. All right, so let's speak about our products. We've got 3 products. Their benefits are financial in nature. The first product is called the Access Wealth Plan. It is made up of 2 independent products. It's 299 Rand a month. The first product is a registered tax-free investment account that sits with Sanlam. 100 Rand gets invested on your behalf into this investment account. It is not a notice or a fixed deposit or a savings account. It's an investment account. You are free to remove that investment at any stage. At any stage. It takes us about 72 hours to process. On top of that, you get a little bit of personal accident cover to the value of 110,000 Rand. So should anything happen to you, you get killed in a car accident, for example, we'll be paying out your beneficiaries 110,000 Rand plus whatever's in your investment. So this is our investment product, the Access Wealth Plan. The second product is called Wealth Guard. It is 274 Rand a month. This is our insurance product. So this is strictly insurance. For 274 Rand, you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The beauty of our personal accident cover products is that it becomes available to anyone over the age of 18. This is not like life insurance or funeral cover where we profile you from a risk point of view, right? Which means we send a nurse to your office, take bloods, we want to know about your entire medical history. We don't do any of that. And so we can offer this product to anyone. The premium remains the same regardless of your age, and it remains the same regardless of your health status. Right? So it becomes accessible really to everybody. The third product is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club program. 274 Rand a month too. And the aim of this product is really to save us money on the money that we spend every month anyway. So for the 274 Rand a month, you get to enjoy the discounts that we've negotiated with a list of suppliers that you see over there. We know we spend a fortune on groceries, on the cost of living. We've got data partners, we've got supermarkets, we've got motor manufacturers, we've got a whole plethora of different partners here. If you're looking for immediate benefit out of any of our products, the Wealth Points program is an awesome product to engage with. So those are our 3 products. If you have any questions around them, come speak to me. We've kept them to be fairly straightforward and simple, but there's a lot more information on our website, and we've got videos specifically on the products on our YouTube channel for you to watch. And then we have our final wealth engineer all the way from the Free State. Motoletswana, come up and speak to me. There we go, ma'am. All the way from the Free State, my home province. I was born in Welkom.
Okay.
You can see Motoletswana is from Bloemfontein. She joined in the middle of April and has had phenomenal success in a very short amount of time. By July, nearly 5,000 Rand a month. 60 days later, nearly 9,000 Rand a month, and then another 4,000 Rand on top of that by November. And November is not finished yet, right? By the way. Just by the way, so that number is certainly going to go up. Tell us about your early experience of the business. I know your father was involved. Share your story with us of becoming involved at DewPoint.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me firstly say thank you for the opportunity. And I followed this system. I studied it. And then as every all Tuesday came on, I said to myself, I've seen people from different provinces, but there is an error on that platform. I want to get that error corrected. And this evening, the error has been corrected. The rose is in the house, and we are here. When I saw the business opportunity, I was not excited about it. And I tried everything possible just to block this person who was forever telling me, and he actually wanted to make sure that every time he was with my family member, I was part of the meeting. And then I said, okay. As time goes on, I started listening attentively. At the end of it all, I said to myself, but I've got nothing to lose here. All that I needed to do was to make sure that what I want, I will get. I was in this other previous network marketing, like they already said. I hate being dishonest to myself. I also hate to be comforted by discomfort. And the other thing that I don't like is not to be myself when I'm in the system. So when I looked at this DewPoint system, I said, it gives me the retention strategy. I want to work the business in such a way that at the end of the day, when I want to retire, I'm not going to retire, I'm going to rewire. Because I'll be focusing on more things that makes me happy. I'll be following my passion because I'll be having money to do things that matters most to me. So this is where I am today. I want to say to all of you, this business has got power. As I studied it, I saw many things that I never thought I'll be able to be rejuvenated by them before. I was down and I was just about to be out. Yes, people can write you off, but as long as they've forgotten to write the inner you off, you can still take yourself off the ground and shake the dust off and get to where you belong, which is the top.
So where do you want to be? Still early days. You've been in the business since April, but I hope you have a long-term goal. I tell everyone,
Yes.
you've got to have a long-term goal.
I'm a person and investment. I'm a person and properties. Currently, I've got 3 properties, but it's not enough. I'm a person who like to have residual recurring income from the investment that I will have developed from the income from this business opportunity. And the other thing that I'm seeing ahead of me is that I want to touch many lives of men and women in this country. We don't have control over what is happening in our country right now. The economy of our country is changing like, you know, the 4 seasons of Cape Town. But today I want to say to you, if you just want to be part of the growing nation financially, you have to believe first in yourself and believe in the system and hang around people who talk positivity into your life. If you fail to familiarize yourself with something that has such a retention strategy for you, something that is going to take you to the wildest dreams of your life, you are failing yourself. Never be comforted by discomfort. Never allow other people to intimidate you by saying that they will take away what they have put in your bank account. No. You can make that money again. You've got the capacity to rise up again. And I want to tell you one thing. If you think that by threatening people, you are going to get hold of their lives, the only thing that you can take away from a person is time. Do not allow people to take your time away from yourself. Do not allow people to stop you to release all your potential, that you will be able to make more money from your potential.
Hmm. I can see you must speak a lot of power into your channel. Do you want to give your channel a message? It's your opportunity to speak to them. I'm sure they're all over South Africa.
I know they are live streaming right now as I'm standing here. And yes, I can see Dr. Ross and Me Pinky. I've got a whole lot of doctors in my team. I've got Dr. Faith and Dr. Ntabiseng here seated. I've got a whole lot of pastors in my team. And I've got, people of high profile in my team. I'm not underestimating anyone, but I'm saying I've got the likes of Babumbo Fundisi in my team, people who are there, people who know what they want, people who are sick and tired of becoming sick and tired, people who are, I've got a whole lot of people who say, I want to make a difference in other people's lives. So let me say to you, you will never be successful until you realize that the sheep will never be able to see other oceans until they've got the courage to lose sight of the shore. On your own, be prepared to play and win. But at the end of the day, do not be afraid to lose with the same breath. To my team, stay courageous, be risk takers. And when you fall as a woman being, remember one thing: fall first, fall fast, and be the one to fall forward. Never fall backwards. Because in this business, it's all about forward you go. So to all of my channel throughout the country, to all those that have believed in me for the entire festive season, whenever you are not going anywhere, I'm here to help you build your channel. We want to see ourselves. I've got a target with my team. I've built a team of, I've got 40 on my first point. And I'm building them in such a way that come next year, during the incentive conference, 10 of them at least, they are on point, on rank 9 and above. Wow. That's my intention. And before I can just sit down, I want to say thank you to a very beautiful couple in here, Auntie Steffi, and your beautiful and your handsome husband, Uncle Denzel. Yo, these people are very, they've got guards. They traveled all the way to Bloemfontein, and they will even tell me not to go across the border because they come to see my family members, so that I must be part of them. So thank you so much for being so persistent. Thank you so much for making sure that at the end of the day, I become part of this team. Without your support, Uncle D, without your support, Auntie Steffi, I wouldn't be standing here today. You have done an enormous work on me because I've been such a stubborn client. But I don't regret anything. And to my daughter, thank you so much for not giving up on me. And from my son one day said to me, Mommy, as I'm looking at the top performers in Dew Point right now, there's nothing that can stop you from being to that position. So Pumi and Pat, thank you for holding on, because when you are there, when you are still holding on, we believe that this is doable. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Motla Letsona, thank you so much. A Again, the lesson of persistence. Persistence, even with the stubborn people that don't want to listen to you, right? And December isn't a holiday. December is not a holiday. There are opportunities even in December to increase the value in this business that you're building. Guys, what is the decision that we need to make this evening? I was thinking about it today. I often refer to an interview that Elon Musk gave, where he speaks about entrepreneurship. And he says, like that picture of the ballerina, people will look at entrepreneurship and think, it looks so glossy, it looks easy, right? The decision this evening is really, are you willing to endure the downside of entrepreneurship to enjoy the success, the promise of entrepreneurship? That's the decision you need to make. You need to make a decision. Are you willing to sacrifice time in your day for DewPoint, for this business that you have ownership over? It is as simple as that. Nothing else. If you are not speaking to someone, like Don says, if you're not speaking to someone every single day, you are not doing this business. And that's what's required. That's the decision you need to make. We make joining very easy. Please read our code of conduct. It is our contract with you that defines what you cannot do as a wealth engineer. Jump onto our website, www.dewpoint.net. Apply online and become a wealth engineer, and then just start applying yourself to your channel as you would to any business. It requires learning, right? Engaging in the knowledge and the training that we make available. Setting goals for yourselves. Every wealth engineer, I asked them what their goals were. What were their ambitions? What motivated them in this business? You need to do that. Goals are only goals once you've written them down, by the way, right? Prepare a plan. Strategize towards those goals. And then the simple activity of going out and speaking to people. As simple as that. We've got merchandise. This is not a profit center for us. These are tools that we came up with that we thought would help you be more effective in building your channel. USB sticks, very convenient. We've got our videos on there. You don't need to use data. Please consider getting business cards. This business is very much about creating first impressions, about credibility. If you don't have business cards, what does it say about the business that you're proposing to other people? Right? You've got to take this business seriously. We've got a host of other merchandise. It's on display in the merchandise cabinet. The pricing is on the counter. Please consider it. And then the moment you become a wealth engineer, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got about 500 videos on the YouTube channel. Fortunately, all neatly arranged and categorized for easy consumption. It'll tell you every time a new video is posted up. It'll tell you every time we're about to do a live stream. Download the mobile app. It runs on Android and Apple phones. And once you download the new mobile app, make sure that you update your profile picture. Because the moment you update and take a selfie, update your profile picture, we will give you 1,000 XP. How much XP did you need for rank 1? There you go. 5 minutes away. Some don'ts, because I know people don't read the code of conduct. Right? It's like the terms and conditions on anything. You just click agree at the bottom, right? I want what I want. I'm going to highlight some of the don'ts. You cannot become a wealth engineer if you cannot afford to be a wealth engineer, right? We are trying to engage with resourceful people. This business isn't everything to everybody in this country. Let's empower ourselves before we start becoming an answer to the problems we have in the economy. If you don't have access to the internet, you're really going to struggle with this business. We have invested heavily in technology. We are a 21st century business, right? Don touched on a lot of the points that he enjoyed about this business. You're going to have to invest a little bit in data to do this business. You need to have access to transport. Again, even though we're very much a technology-based business, this business still relies on one-on-one connection. One-on-one connection, face-to-face, and that's going to require access to transport. Do not ever complete a DewPoint application on behalf of somebody else. Not only does that contravene our code of conduct, it is also fraudulent, completely fraudulent. So don't do that, and please tell everyone in your channel not to do that, because we see a lot of that happening. Don't add any direct family members into your channel. We call this an anti-stacking rule. Unfortunately, because of a lot of manipulation that happens, we've made a rule that if a person lives in your household, they may not be in your channel. All right? Simple rule. And then don't start your own Facebook page. You may not advertise or market or publicize DewPoint on any public platform. Right? So Facebook pages are our bugbear. We actually have a company that we contract that reports to us all the Facebook activity that happens that names DewPoint. And there's a lot of people that start up these DewPoint Facebook pages. So please make sure that people in your channel aren't doing that either. And then lastly, don't ever send a DewPoint prospect to our head office unattended. Again, this is a one-on-one business. It's a face-to-face business. You need to take care of the people that you are prospecting and bringing into this business, right? So don't leave them unattended and tell them, just go there, here's my wealth engineer number. So those are the 5 don'ts. Guys, we have 16 days till the 1st of December. I know everyone's in holiday mode already, perhaps not this audience, but we have 40, 50,000 wealth engineers, and I can see already over October, the activity just started dwindling. I suspect they're doing the same thing at work, right? So my reminder is we've got 16 days till the 1st of December. It is 16 different opportunities to speak to people, to increase your asset value. We pay our November return just before Christmas. So come the 20th of December, you are either going to get an SMS from DewPoint that's got a nice number in it as a Christmas present, or you aren't. So I ask everybody, make sure that you are engaged in this business on a daily basis. It is for your own good, and we are here with you to support you. It is early days. We launched this business last year in February. We very much look forward to what you guys are going to do over the next few decades. I thank you for your time this evening. If you have any questions, you're welcome to speak to me. Brendan and some of the other staff are here this evening. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Thank you.